You are listening to Maximum Pew Pew, an actual play RPG podcast. Maximum Pew Pew follows continuous storylines and are meant to be enjoyed from the beginning. This episode follows the Dead Sons storyline and may contain spoilers for the Dead Sons Adventure Path published by Paizo Incorporated. Gameplay segments may contain mature themes and adult language. In this episode, the party completes their sweep of the Temple of the 12. Now the real nightmare can begin. So, the area that you've cleared out, 3 wooden doors line the west wall of this gallery. The curving interior wall depicts the night sky and its stars.
Let's open door number 1. Closest to our party.
The closest door to the party. Okay.
What's behind door number 1?
Is it a goat?
It's the mountain eel goat.
That's not a good one. No, it's an ocean goat to complement the mountain eel.
A Capricorn?
Yeah.
So,
oh Lord.
So the
it's super stoic. It doesn't care.
You try to open the door. The door's unlocked. The door opens. You feel like it would open freely, but there's just so much debris on the other side.
Did he print this? It's a projector panel.
Yeah. I guess he did.
Not it.
I don't know what Harvey does.
Harvey
It was probably left in the machine.
does not. Maybe Harvey.
Oh, yeah, it's like and then you went to print something, it's like, oh.
Alright,
Yeah.
well I guess I put this in
he
with
does
the
not
rest of the
work in
Starfinder
a
stuff. Oh,
area that does that type of thing. But
weird.
I mean, I know where he works, but I'm not going to say it here.
No, you don't want to say that out loud while we're recording.
No.
Yeah,
But that's
be dangerous.
That's not. Doesn't make sense to me. If it were, if it were these two, it would make sense to me.
I work from home.
Well, also I wouldn't put it past you to print on laminated sheets for some reason.
That's fair. That's fair. I can't even fault you for that. Look what I can do.
So, the doors open. It's just there's so much debris that you'd probably have to make like a strength check or break down the door because there's just too much crap between.
19 strength check.
I'm pretty buff.
So the door's in such bad shape, you pretty much just break the door down.
Okay.
The door just topples.
I throw shoulder and it just like...
Yeah, the door, yeah.
It gives
You like trip almost because it was so easy. It's like,
Yeah, and there's
Was
just
this
so
door
much...
made of paper? I don't
There's just
understand.
like so much stuff in the
I'm
next
so sorry,
that
my
you're
bad.
Like stumbling across through here.
didn't mean to get stuck.
It looks like what used to be in here has like crumbled and decayed, like old furniture, bookshelves.
All right.
You can't even really tell in the last time anyone's even been in here.
All right. Door number 2.
It's going to be a similar deal. Pretty much every single room over on this western wing
Is boring.
looks to have been, yeah.
Okay. Well, then let's go into the central
Well,
fire.
at least it means that there's nothing in here that can hurt us.
You are dead set on destroying this map. What the Cult of the Devourer couldn't do, Cyna's books are.
Just the terrain movement pace. Oh, that had no right to be that funny. None whatsoever.
Okay. So you're making your way around this way. Well, by the time you start working on this door over here,
There's like a random dude there.
well,
Yeah,
I'm just
pretty
keeping
random.
out. I'm just keeping out my laser rifle, by the way,
I mean,
because we're
you
in a
look like a
building full of
cultist, dude.
cultists.
Well, it's
We're a nasty
really
place.
random, very random. First of all, it's not the Lashunta that you've been dealing with the cultist. It's a Kasatha female. She is not wearing the cultist's outfits. Actually, she's wearing something more akin to like a expedition wear, like travel wear.
This one of the kidnapped academics.
Yeah, are you Dr. So-and-so?
That was loud.
That was really loud and gave away our cover.
I mean, she's looking at us. We're looking at her.
Yeah. Dr. Solstarny, yes, that's
Yeah.
me.
Still Starny. Awesome. So
Her legs are fettered in chains to a point in the floor that prevents her from going too terribly far.
Like a long lost puppy.
we heard you got some cultist problems.
She, yeah. She gives a little laugh, like. That's one way to put it.
Yeah, I'm a man of few words. A lot of words. They don't mean much, though.
He uses the same ones over and over. We're affiliated with the university and the Starfinders. We're your backup. Would you like to get out of here?
Extraction team? I think extraction team might
Yeah.
be more accurate.
Yeah, I would like to get out of here. The university sent you?
No.
The university didn't stop us.
Oh, it's funny because it's true.
That's way less violent than it came out.
It's more like they enabled us to come after you.
That,
They helped with the paperwork.
I see. Well, I am very appreciative of...
Don't we have questions about, like, ancient markings and ruins and
Yeah,
stuff?
we also have like a cult to devour up in the tower with a bunch of explosives.
Yeah, we should kill them first, and then we should ask questions.
That's fair.
Do you mind staying chained up for a hot minute?
Do I mean...
I mean, let's be fair, you've already kind of been
She
chained
doesn't-
up for a hot minute.
She doesn't really.
I take our engineer,
Oh, right.
point him at her shackles.
And he pokes some tools at
He goes over with, like, his
Poke.
blowtorch and goes, you're good.
it. It was over 30, yeah.
Yeah, you unlock her fetter. She sort of reflexively rubs her ankles a bit and flexes. And like, well, that was fun.
Oh, right,
Thank
that's
you.
my job.
Well, thank you for that. This has been a miserable 2 weeks.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
spent 9
has
days trying to
been.
catch up with you, so
I
we want to
Did-
have a really long conversation about this, but right now our concern is the other people who I'm guessing are, I kind of looking at the doors, are up there. Is that right?
Yeah, they've been out and about in the courtyard. She kind of closes her eyes and it's like she's trying to do a mental inventory. I know there's some upstairs. I don't think there are any outside.
I'm gonna go listen to that door.
Do
while
you
she's
know
talking.
numbers by chance?
3 perception.
You listen to the door, you hear nothing.
You hear bum 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 bum, and then when you notice it starts going faster. Bum 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 bum.
There's someone in here playing basketball.
She points at that door and says, there are ancient defenses in that room.
That doesn't sound good.
They
Let's
are
disarm those with our faces.
they are racially motivated.
Lovely.
Racist.
By that I mean this temple was previously occupied and venerated by elves. So these defenses seem to be keyed towards species that are not elf. She looks around.
That would be all of us.
Funny about that.
So
You don't know what years I got in this helmet.
Talhaman has been bypassing it by disguising himself as an elf.
All
I
right.
watch him do it every single time before he goes up the tower. It seems to work.
I hit the holoskin.
Oh, that's right. That's a thing you can do.
Yep. And disguise check.
You look like the elf, the shortest elf ever.
Well, you're awfully short, man. Yeah.
I mean, you're kind of elf-like.
We're not all tall. Just saying.
She has a
That's going to
condition.
be a 15 total.
Okay.
Ooh. I don't believe that roll, so I'm just gonna leave that on the screen.
Well, if you want to make a perception check and see if I suck, you can.
Oh, okay. So you make a disguise check. You look.
A moderate approximation of it.
Yeah. I mean, some of the features aren't right, and it might just be because everyone watched you transform before their very eyes, and it's just
Right.
could be uncanny valley, could be.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Truth is I've never seen an elf above their nose.
And the other problem is the last elf you encountered was undead, so maybe your pallor's a bit darker.
The
than
glowing
what-
eyes are too much, right?
There's a little something off, and Dr.
You
Solstarny
could just take the
will
slider
look
for the
and
glowing
say,
eyes a little down.
All right. Let's try this again.
I've never seen an elf before.
I rolled 4 higher. That's going to be a D is for disguise. A 19.
Dr. Solstarny.
Will she help?
Well, Dr. Solstarny said turning off the glowing eyes was a.
Good start.
And you got the hair a little bit better, and the hair really
All right.
gets it. But it's, I would say, as passable as what Talman had been able to
All right.
achieve
Well,
before going in there.
does this work for anybody who might be accompanying me? Does
He typically went in alone. I believe it seems to work, but not without some negotiation.
okay? Thank you.
I wish I could help more. It's just
No, I know
Very-
you've only seen this.
very limited to what I've been able to see and hear or whatever.
Okay.
The best kind of disguise that I can manage is some sticky notes and fold it into a triangle.
Well, I mean, I have the disguise skill.
You
I
do.
just, the holoskin allows me to approximate some, sizes I can't do. You guys are already roughly elf-shaped. I could conceivably try to rig disguises for you.
Solstarny will also point over at this room over here and say, that room's trapped.
Okay, so we'll just avoid it.
Which room?
The room with like the stars
Okay.
on the, and you glanced at it a little bit when you're over in the entranceway, and it looked like there were a lot of stars. And if I recall, you had the mysticism to be
Yeah.
able to determine that it was also trapped, and you had an idea of how to bypass the trap as a result. But she will tell you that there's nothing really of interest over there, especially if you've already went through the 3 cultists to make your way to this direction. But she believes this room is like a library.
Ooh, I love books. Are they on PDF? I need it on PDF.
Well, let's open that door.
Okay. So, would
Well,
you...
I mean,
Is anyone else attempting to disguise themselves?
Yeah, I don't.
I have no possible way of disguising
I
myself.
got a 17
I
on
have
disguise
I
check.
have on like armor that covers my whole person.
Well, Dr.
Yeah.
Solstarny
Yeah.
says, I've watched other cultists go in there with Tauhaman,
Okay.
but he disguises himself as an elf before he goes in.
So we'll let you walk in first,
All
in
right.
front of the group.
So here, before we go, it's like we dealt with. You probably heard us dealing with the cultists around there. There's no one outside except one person who was a cultist who previously who was left to die. We've saved her. She was working with us and helping us with intelligence. She is outside,
Okay.
and so you can use your own judgment if you try to find her or not. But it should be
Show her a
clear.
picture of the reformed cultist.
You should be able to at least make your way off the plateau and find some place to hide.
Gotcha. Let me give you this block of text that I probably should have read
Okay.
way earlier. As she is relaying, you're determining what's in here, everything. Dr. Solstarny will tell you the so-called Ira Pequal was a ploy, as I suspected. The man behind my abduction is a Lashunta called Tauhaman, who leads a significant cult of the Devourer Cell. From what I gather, he learned of ancient texts associated with the explorer Halquimzon's travels here and attempted to recruit me to travel here and decipher anything we found. What I've learned is that the Oasia elven culture found the cosmos utterly fascinating, at first worshipping Desna before fixating on several alien entities and celestial features to worship, especially a constellation of 12 stars, which might be strictly symbolic. He knocked me out after I ceased cooperating here, and I suspect he learned something more in the temple's inner sanctum,
Okay.
which would be that area. So, the door is unlocked to this room, so it would be very easy for you to open if you so desired.
Let's do it.
Okay. You open the door. Inside, I do not have a room description, however, it does appear to be a library. You'll see along these sort of alcoves in that back wall, there are bookcases full of books and scrolls. There's a staircase with landing that kind of leads up that also has some shelving as well. Also in this room, there are two statues. Standing here, they look like the picture that isn't the Kakariki.
Okay.
Oh, they just look like big elven statues.
Big elven statues,
Okay.
essentially.
The kind that obviously don't come alive to trash adventurers.
No, which is why I would never ask you to make a knowledge engineering check to figure out what these things are.
If he doesn't have
24.
it,
24. Yeah, 24 tells you that these creatures are called Lore Guardians. Lore, Lore Guardians. You had 24? Okay, I'll give you 3 pieces of info about these things. They are constructs with a minor amount of DR and spell resistance. They can bypass magic for the purpose of DR and damaging incorporeal creatures. Because of their they have something called species tradition. A lore guardian mimics the anatomy and mannerisms of the culture that created it. A lore guardian counts as both a construct and a member of its parent species for any effect related to its type and subtype, such as like the Bane fusion. It also understands but cannot speak one of its parent species' languages. Once per day, it can activate a special teleportation effect. This either teleports the ranged weapon back into the construct's hands or teleports the construct to the weapon's location. When using the latter option, the Lore Guardian appears with the weapon in its hand adjacent to the target of its ranged attack or in a randomly determined nearby space if the attack missed. But you know this is, even in spite of all this, is relatively low-level magic that created this thing. Not super tough. But that is what you know.
That's a lot.
A lot of stuff.
You watch the National Geographic special on these guys.
Right, yeah. Like YouTubing it as I'm looking at it.
How did you get a signal here?
It's real slow.
So as you,
Yeah.
as Cyna, you open the door, you see these things kind of turn to attention, and both of them ready their spears at you.
All right.
You also know that in spite of the fact that they can understand the language, they can't, speak.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to need you to coach me on Elven.
Right. Let's see. Short, straight to the point statements that can be easily repeated. What should we say to these guardians?
Move.
Just how about stand down?
Oh, okay. I will tell him how to say stand down in Elven.
Okay.
All right, then I will repeat that.
Cool. Make me a diplomacy check.
Okay. Because I'm so good at diplomacy. All right. That's fair. 19.
19. You giggle a little bit because stand down in Elven sounds a lot like cucumber and halfling.
Right.
But
Okay.
so then you have to try your best not to say cucumber and halfling because it reminds you that much.
I am hungry.
But you are able to tell them to stand down, and it looks like you've convinced them enough
Right.
to actually put their spears down in spite of the whole party kind of there with you.
Okay.
So you figure as long as you're able to maintain your disguise in this room, you're probably safe.
Okay.
All right.
There is a whole library for you to be able to take a look at, in addition to a staircase leading up.
Any books of note in the library?
How about any books that have been left out?
Yeah.
Maybe with bookmarks in them.
Or like those books on the floor.
There's that.
There's nothing really that kind of piques your interest much. Dr. Solstarny could probably do a lot of good work in here, given enough time.
Might earn her second doctorate.
Yeah, this looks like a good sabbatical location, perhaps.
Assuming it wasn't filled with cultists.
Now, the books here are... Well, there's actually a lot going on here. So, prepare for story bomb. First of all, I'm going to consider these lore guardians taken care of.
Sweet.
Okay.
Hooray.
If you all search around here and take a look, which I would highly advise, you are going to find a lot of things that are really neat. First of all, you find a spell gem of flight, 2nd level.
Ooh.
You find a spell gem of remove affliction, a spell gem of sea invisibility, and a staff of mystic healing.
Ooh. How do you use one of those?
I'm checking the
I
book.
am the only one that can use a spell gem, and I can only use them. Well, you might be able to use a spell gem if you have the spell, but on
I was
your
I was
list.
interested in the staff. Though. How do you use the
Staff of mystic healing.
Staff.
I'm working on it.
That's under magic items in the equipment chapter.
So,
I'll take the spell gems though, unless there's something you can use.
would you like to invite Dr. Solstarny in here, because she would probably...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's invite her over.
All right. The true prize in this room is the Oasia Elves Discoveries, and many of the pre-gap books here are legible, albeit barely intact. Furthermore, it looks like whoever had been in here was very sloppy in returning documents in their proper places, allowing you to uncover the same information Talhuman did. Most of the texts here are in Elven, though some are in Celestial, Draconic, and an archaic version of Castrovelian. It's very difficult for a modern speaker. So between all of you can probably get there. And then there's a very archaic version of Castrovelian. It's almost like trying to go through
Has all
like
the
just a
B's
Middle
and vowels
English type, like a very thick Middle English equivalent.
I was trying to read untranslated Beowulf.
With Dr. Solstarni's assistance, you learn that the Oasia elves were a philosophical offshoot that spurned their Sovrian kin and sought a new life of cosmic contemplation on Ukalam, thousands of years before the Gap. Their techniques quickly improved, and through a combination of telescopes and divination magic, the elves discovered a strange constellation of 12 stars that formed a perfect circle in the sky. The more they studied the constellation, the stranger their dreams became, and powerful scholar priests began recording the odd language they saw and heard. As the elves' knowledge of and exposure to the galaxy expanded, they parlayed with increasingly bizarre and powerful alien minds, most notably a powerful being known as Ibra, especially noteworthy because the elves' records suggest that Ibra may not have been a deity at the time. Through Ibra's teachings, the elves studied the mysterious circular constellation, learning that it was not a natural feature, but the construction of a nearly impossible, ancient, and highly advanced species untold light years away. Casting their minds far into the cosmos, the scholar priests sensed that a ring pulsed with an unnatural energy, which led them to believe it to be a gateway of some kind. The elves called it the Gate of 12 Suns, and they renamed their temple in honor of it. Some of the scholar priests believed that the Gate of 12 Suns held back some powerful army. Others postulated that it magnified the thoughts and dreams of another galaxy and that it could be the key to untold knowledge. The most popular hypothesis, though, was that the Gate of 12 Suns represented such power that it could only be, or serve as the portal to, some cosmically powerful superweapon. One of the scholar priests even posited the existence of a so-called stellar degenerator, which could drain all energy from a star, turning it into a hypothetical stellar remnant called a black dwarf. Unfortunately, there's no definitive note of where the Gate of 12 Suns is, as if identifying its location was taboo to the elves. As imperative disputes broke out among the elves, they agreed that from the confines of Los Kialua, they could never confirm their theories, much less attain enlightenment through discovery under the inspired guidance of Ibra. They packed up what they needed, and then they performed a ritual that the texts refer to only as the Celestial Voyage. The implication is that the elves traveled to another system, though whether they succeeded or failed is uncertain from these records.
Wow.
Jesus. What in the world?
Well, I mean, they weren't entirely sure, but I mean, just that one reference to a super weapon would be the enough to get the Devourers here. But the fact is that this language matches what we found on the rock.
Yeah.
Right. Which means, and based on our own information, it's likely to be a super weapon.
Well, or at least enough that...
Or at least something that can be used as a super weapon that maybe that was its original
regardless,
purpose.
Things are starting to line up.
Then this is our clue to find out where that is, where the rest of that rock is.
And also this ancient civilization might have mastered space travel thousands of years before anyone else. Well, not mastered it, but used it.
Yeah.
You can see that the gravity of this is also, Dr. Solstarny is really gripped by this as well. For possibly different reasons than everyone else in the room.
What we will need, though, is to figure out where those 12 stars are, because that's going to tell us where we need to go.
Yeah. Let's go clean up these cultists.
Let's ask the doctor tell her, while we're busy here, that's our concern. You can hide outside or work in here for as long as you can.
Right. And try to figure out where our next destination is.
Because maybe they made it.
Yeah, maybe they made it. And we're about to meet some ancient civilization of elves that no one has ever even basically knew existed.
Right.
Okay. So I'll have to retcon something. The Tauhoman is actually not in there at the moment. She has not seen him for some time. So she does not feel like anybody is up in the tower at this time.
Oh, okay.
So a little retcon there. It makes a bit more sense than having the combat here. That would be
That's
Add in a
valid.
list of things to sell.
Then, all
I
right.
can't use it.
So the Staff of Mystic Healing is only useful if you have the healing touch ability.
and I don't think anybody in this.
This goes in the
It
pile.
gives you an extra use of it once a day.
It's nice, but we don't have any mystics, so
Yeah.
it doesn't do much for us. And then there's the Remove Affliction.
My
spell
Breath-It-In
gem is
would be all over
really
that.
nice, but
maybe hold on to them
okay,
before you get too
okay.
sell happy.
Well, I mean, I can't use them right now, so
Yeah. Okay. So you can climb the observatory tower if you want. Staircase climbs more than 100 feet to a broad observation platform with high guard walls. Most of the instruments that once stood here have corroded into nothing more than rusty stains and scratched glass. One device remains intact, though, an apparatus that measures and records psychic emanations from across the galaxy for later study. The crystal in which these are recorded ran out of storage capacity millennia ago, but the device continued to record and reconfigure the data, compressing it ever more densely over the ages. Did I give you a XP for the Oasia discoveries?
I don't think so. But
Or did I give you
You
one?
gave me the first Starstorm trap.
Oops.
It's the same amount of money, so it doesn't matter. I mean, same
So,
amount of
yeah,
XP.
keep it anyway because you guys will bypass it.
Okay.
I did that by mistake. You know how to bypass it, therefore, you know about it. So, this crystal essentially acts like a Mark 1 ability crystal.
Nice.
ooh, very nice.
So you guys can fight over that. Other than having a spectacular view of this valley, now that you've found a point that's even higher, there's nothing else really of interest, not only in this tower, but also in this building. And after doing a careful and thorough sweep, you are 100% positive that this temple is devoid of any hostiles.
Do we know where they went?
Dr. Solstarny does not know because they knocked her out recently when she stopped being helpful.
That ability crystal, is it just the
Mark 1.
It gives you +2 or something.
yeah, that's what I meant.
Well, can we go outside and, like, survival it up to find out where they went?
Sure. So, everybody place yourselves outside.
Okay.
Oh,
Dr. Solstarny will
I got-
meet up with Ralkawi, and they'll kind of share glances at one another.
I got to 23 on survival.
Okay. There have been some you can see footprints that have led up the trail. There's a lot of like footwork around the front property here, but also there's a mountain trail to the northwest that seems to have seen some heavy foot traffic and perhaps some.
was this mountain even at an even taller location it goes up to?
Yeah.
Well, then that seems like what this cult is into.
Well, the one guy told us that they went up that way, didn't they?
Right, with the movable altar.
Yeah.
Right.
The radio.
So if you all would kindly put me 3 assailants at the mountain path there. So
Okay.
That ability crystal is only 1,400, so I think we will all end up with them shortly.
Yeah, it's just somebody is going to get them before
And it
we
takes
get
an
back.
hour before it becomes useful,
Okay.
so it's not immediately
So,
useful.
as you're exiting, you will see that several of these cultists have made their way down from the mountain. And you see them, and they see you, and neither of you are pleased at the presence of another, and roll initiative. Title music provided by Overclocked Remix and created by CFX. Find more great classic game remixes at ocremix.com. Ambient music provided by Tabletop Audio. Original 10-minute ambiances and music for games and stories. Find out more at tabletopaudio.com.